Hey everybody, it's the 3D printing professor, and Wood Wars 3D is back! Not back, actually, because it never went anywhere. It's just kind of been sitting here on my shelf, and here it is. But it's now in your hands. You can now take Wood Wars and print it out and have your own copy, and with its little cute little pawns, each with their own cool little poses, and whimsical little animal characters with the interchangeable heads that you can remove the head, if I can get that off, and then put on a new head. And now we've changed the race of this particular class, and they get new abilities and stats, and then you move them around against each other and roll marbles to knock them down and gain points. So this is Wood Wars, and it's now in your hands, and it's here on Sourceforge. And so let me show you around a little bit and show you what I've done with the place. So here is the landing page for Wood Wars on Sourceforge, which you can get to either at sourceforge.net/project/woodwars3d or woodwars3d.sourceforge.io. And from this page, you can download the latest version that has all the STLs and JPEGs in it. There's one of my older videos on here, and I'll probably going to be replacing it with this video, so that's very cool. And then some pictures of it being played and a little bit of information. That's all that's really here on the main page. If you go into the files section, you'll see that you can actually have the source files, which includes the Blender sources and the Photoshop sources that I used for the cards and things like that. So this is an open source tabletop strategy war game. How cool is that? The idea behind Wood Wars 3D, what I was doing with this project, is I wanted to make a tabletop, a board game where 3D printing was important. Not like you could take these components and make them out of cardboard or something else cheaper and easier. They needed to be 3D printed, and so I went out searching for board games that would translate well to this, and I found H.G. Wells made a game called Little Wars, and Little Wars was by his own statement, for adults to play with children's toys. Those little wooden toys that were ubiquitous in his days. He wanted to have a codified set of rules for moving them around and fighting them with each other. And the way that he did artillery strikes was by actually throwing a ball. And I thought, this is perfect because we need to have the physical components. And so I would translate this idea into a smaller scale, a tabletop scale, and use 3D printing to do it. And that's Wood Wars. Now, most of the information on this page is on the wiki, so I recommend you spend a little bit of time on the wiki. Here on the wiki, we have, again, a little landing page about it, and a fabrication guide that talks about the components that you have to go out and buy. You have to go get a couple of these marbles to throw things at. Also, a couple of dice. Could be 3D printed, but if you want, you can just go get regular dice. And then other optional components. And then there are cards in Wood Wars 3D that need to be traditionally 2D printed and then cut out to fit. And I like to round the corners on mine so that when these ones come together, it kind of looks like they form one huge card. But that's optional. You can do that. And then there's the 3D printed components. Now, the thing about Wood Wars 3D is you can make your armies as big or small as you want. What I put here is a recommended set for a beginner play, just to kind of get your feet wet. But is that correct? Feet wet? I don't know. But you know, if you play a game and you're like, man, this was just too small, I want more of it, then there's nothing to stop you from getting more of it. The rules are also here on the wiki, and the rules have been, there's a lot of flux in the rules. There's an old video where I explained the rules, and it's so outdated now because the rules have undergone a lot of changes since then. There's been a lot of balancing and a lot of changes. And the more I play it, the more other people play it and give me feedback, the more these rules are going to keep getting refined until Wood Wars 3D just becomes an incredible game, a game totally worth playing. And so I like the wiki setup for these rules because it allows it to remain a little bit fluid for now, while it's still in development. Also, there is the lore of Wood Wars 3D, where I took the story that's just kind of been bouncing around inside my head forever, and I fleshed it out and I told the whole story to you here. And I hope that you'll read it and check it out and give me feedback on it. And don't be kind, be honest. I felt like as I was writing this, I was writing fan fiction for my own work. I'm curious to know what you think of it. This story is going to continue to grow. New chapters are going to come out, and with those new chapters are going to be new expansions. I've already got planned a lot of expansions for Wood War, and you can see some of the things that I want to do in the to-do section. Working on this one right now. I have rules variations, new units that I have planned out that I want to do, and some of them I've even got some work going on there. I've already done a lot on Wood Wars, getting it out in front of you guys. So, and if you look at the to-do list and you say, hey, I could help with that, reach out to me and let me know, because I am more than willing to accept your help to get this going. But the biggest thing you can do to support it is just make a set and play the game. The more people who play this game, the more people who I see playing it, the more I'm thinking, yeah, I got to spend time and make Wood Wars even better. So the biggest thing you can do, and join the mailing list. There's a mailing list right here in Sourceforge, and just subscribe to that. This is a community discussion mailing list, and so if you have questions or you want to talk about, hey, I put it together and I'm liking this and I've done this, or we played this really cool game and this thing happened, the more discussion that happens on this, the happier I'm going to be. And I hope that a community really builds around this to justify, it's been a lot of work to make it happen, but I've been doing this for you, and so I hope that you guys like it. And I think that is it. Wood Wars needs your support. Not this support, it's in the wiki, the support. But Wood Wars needs your support, and the biggest thing you can do right now is print it and play it. But if you want to do more and you want to support in other ways, I've listed out a couple of things here that could really help, including I don't mind taking support on Patreon and PayPal for a one-time donation, and it tells me that you seriously want me to work on this. So I hope that you guys will support me on that. But this is the page for Wood Wars 3D. Go ahead and hit the file section, download that file, check it out. And as always, I thank you very much for watching this video. I thank you very much for checking out Wood Wars 3D. And safety first. I'll see you next time.